Right, Assalamu alaikum. Peace be with you. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to our Switch Your Journey and Komoot route planning webinar. So we've organised a session today to give you some support and help you to prepare for the Switch Your Journey campaign, which is coming up starting next Monday. I think we've got a mixture of people on this call who are either already signed up for Switch Your Journey or are thinking about it or planning to sign up. Some people who just want to find out a bit more about it. So what we're going to do is I'm going to start off with a quick introduction to what Switch Your Journey is, explain a little bit about how the challenge works and what the next steps are. And then I'm very happy that I'm joined by Grace from Komoot, who is then going to be doing a webinar with you guys about how to use the route planning app Komoot and show you how to plan some really nice cycle routes for your journeys. So I'm just going to share a short presentation about Switch Your Journey first. Okay, can someone just say a quick yes that they can see the screen share? Actually, I think I've put you all on mute, so you can't. So I'm assuming that it's okay because it looks good from my end.
Yes.
Okay, so yeah, okay, perfect. All right, that's great. Okay, so Switch Your Journey campaign is a 2-week challenge that we are running for the second time this year, and it takes place from next Monday, the 7th of July, up until the 20th. The second week of that coincides with Muslim Climate Action Week, which is the 14th to the 20th. And the idea of the challenge is for you to try out switching one or more of your everyday journeys that you might normally do by driving or by public transport and try doing it by cycling. So it could be any sort of journey that you do, it could be your work commute, it could be going to uni, could be doing the school run, any sort of errands or anything at all. So every journey that you do will count towards this challenge. And we've got a number of great partners that we're working with for the challenge this year. So Muslim Aid are our co-organisers. We're also supported by Brompton, Komoot, Love to Ride, Muck Off, Muslim Climate Action Week, as I mentioned, and Santander Cycles as well. So the reason that we're doing this challenge is we want to give people the opportunity to see how realistic it is actually to switch some of your journeys or all of your journeys to cycling. And as a Muslim-led organization, we're inspired by our faith. There's a lot of teachings within Islam about our responsibility for taking care of the environment and living in a balanced and sustainable way. And transport is the biggest source of carbon emissions in the UK. And road domestic transport is the biggest contributor of that. So most journeys that we do are actually pretty short. So within London, they're generally under 5 kilometres. So it is quite doable to be able to switch a journey to cycling if you've got the support and the confidence to be able to do it. And it can actually have quite a big impact. So there was a study that showed that just swapping one journey a day to cycling over the course of a year can save as much carbon as a flight from London to New York. So quite significant carbon savings that can be made just from doing something like cycling. So for the challenge, we're going to be using a platform called Love to Ride. And this is really important because Love to Ride is how we're going to be able to see how many journeys are being switched through this challenge. And we'll be able to see the carbon savings as well. So in order to participate, you need to join the Switch Your Journey group on Love to Ride. And I'm going to be explaining in a second how to do that. But this is really important. I think at the moment we've got about 30 sisters who are signed up to the challenge but haven't yet joined the group on Love to Ride. So at the moment, you won't be able to participate. We will be sharing the bike access codes. So we've got codes for Brompton and Santander cycles. We'll be sharing that with you after you've joined the Switch Your Journey group on Love to Ride. And you can only join the group on Love to Ride on the Love to Ride website. So there is an app for Love to Ride, which you'll be able to use for actually logging your journeys. But your first step of joining the Switch Your Journey group needs to be done on the Love to Ride website. And I'm going to show you what that looks like in a second. When you sign up for the challenge, you will have received an email, welcome email from us, which has a link for how to sign up to the Switch Your Journey group on Love to Ride. There's a step-by-step guide in that as well. So if anyone is stuck with it and isn't able to get onto it or has any problems at all, then if you just email us on events@cyclesisters.org.uk and then we'll be able to help you. So this is what the group looks like on Love to Ride. So you'll see the Switch Your Journey 2025. You can see at the top, this is where all the data is going to be. So we're going to be able to see how many people are in the group. We're going to be able to see how many miles are cycled and how much the carbon savings are as well. And to check if you're in the group, I mean, you should get confirmation emails from Love to Ride. But just to check if you're in there, if you scroll down on the Love to Ride page, then you'll be able to see your name hopefully in the group. I'm just give me 1 second because I'm just going to close my door because I can hear my kids being a little bit loud. So I'll be 1 second. Okay. So when it comes to logging the rides on Love to Ride, you've got three different ways that you can do it. So the easiest way is downloading the Love to Ride app. And on the app, you can turn on automatic logging. So that means that it will pick up when you're going for a bike ride. Very occasionally, it will also pick up, like if you did a slow car journey, it might think that that's a cycle ride. If that does happen, you can just delete it from the app and that's not a problem. But generally, it should be just picking up cycle rides. And it means you then don't have to do anything because it's just running in the background and it will just be happening as you're going out on your rides. If you don't want to use the app, then you've got two other options. So you can either sync your Strava account if you use Strava on the Love to Ride website, and then again, it will just pick up automatically the data from Strava. Or the third option is you can manually add your rides onto the Love to Ride website. So that one you have to do every time you do a ride, but that is an option for you if you don't want to use one of the other two. We've got loads of information about how each of those work in our FAQs, which is linked at the bottom. So have a read of that, have a think about which of those three options you're going to use for logging your rides when the challenge starts on Monday. And just to be really clear that because this is about cycling for transport, then only certain journey types are going to count towards the challenge. So transport to or from work, school, university, to or from a meeting, or to or from any other destination. These are categories that you can select from on Love to Ride. So any of those four will be counted towards the challenge. Any of the three with the crosses, so ride with kids, fun fitness, or indoor ride, those three won't be counted because they're not considered as cycling for transport. So obviously, if you're riding with your kids and it's a transport journey, then just don't pick ride with kids. Pick transport to or from another destination or transport to or from school. So that's important that you make sure that you are selecting the right journey type when you're logging your journeys. So any questions around that? Yeah, have a look at the FAQs first, and if you're stuck with anything, then again, feel free to reach out to us on the events email. We've got some really great support for our participants this year. So thanks to a partnership with Brompton Bike Hire, we're able to offer free bike access codes for any sisters who are based in London. We are hoping if we get a significant number of sisters outside of London taking part, then in the future we can have these kind of offers outside of London too. But for this year, it's London only, and you'll be able to have 7 days of free hire of the Brompton folding bike. So it can be for any 7 day window within those dates that I gave you of 7th to the 20th of July, sorry. And you'll be able to keep the bike with you at home. You collect it from one of the Brompton lockers, you keep it with you, and then you return it by the end of the 7 days. We also have another offer, which is with Santander Cycles, so unlimited 60-minute journeys throughout the entire 2 week period. So you can use them all day if you like. The only thing is that you have to redock them within the 60 minutes to avoid having any charges, and then you can like immediately take it back out again. Santander Cycles have also offered for everybody who takes part in the challenge to have a free monthly pass for using the Santander Cycles at the end of the campaign. So for anyone who switches at least one journey during the challenge, then we'll be sharing the codes for that at the end. We're going to be having weekly challenges. So hopefully most of you are on our Switch Your Journey WhatsApp group. It's an optional group, but if you want to find out about things like our challenges and prizes and things, then you need to be on that group. And the challenges are going to be shared with you at the beginning of the first week and the second week, and they're just optional fun things that you can do if you'd like to to be sort of more engaged and involved in the challenge. And we'll be choosing some winners of those challenges as well. So keep an eye out for that. We're also going to be doing another webinar. So on the 17th of July, we're going to do a webinar with Sham from ANS Cycles. which is a bike shop in Hackney, and she's going to be talking about how to buy a bike. So like all the kind of questions that people have about where to start, what sort of bike do I need, how do I know what size bike I need, how much should I be spending, what accessories do I need, all that kind of thing. So if you're interested in that, then look out for the details of that. We'll be sharing those next week, and you'll be able to sign up for that webinar as well. And then I mentioned the WhatsApp community. So last year we had a very active WhatsApp group during the Switch Your Journey Challenge, and it was really inspiring to see all the different sorts of journeys that people were doing and trying for the first time, and their photos have been out with their kids and all sorts of different journeys. So yeah, it's a really nice supportive community. If you've got questions or need help with anything, you can post anything in there, and we'll get back to you. And other sisters can also share their advice as well. And we've got an amazing prize in the challenge. So thanks to Brompton, we will have a winner of our most inspiring story that comes out of the challenge, who will win a Brompton folding bike. So we're not looking for the people who are like doing the most miles or like the most number of journeys or anything like that. It's not about that. It's about looking for somebody who has taken really inspiring steps to making switching to cycling as something long term that they're going to do, not just for these 2 weeks, but moving forward beyond the challenge, and perhaps have involved other people in their lives, like their kids or other friends or family members or something like that. So keep an eye out for the next few weeks, see who's inspiring you, think about who you might like to nominate. You can nominate yourself or you can nominate somebody else, and we'll be sharing a nomination form along with the feedback form towards the end of the challenge. And the deadline for nominations is Thursday, the 24th of July. We've also put together a blog for you about how to like some top tips on switching. So if you go to that link below, I'll share it around on email as well tomorrow with the recording of this. So yeah, I mean, there's lots of advice there, but I think the main thing really is just start with something small, realistic for you. It doesn't need to be like a full journey necessarily. It could be something like just cycling to the station and then getting the train with your bike the rest of the way, or something that's fairly close to your house initially, just so that you can build up your confidence, and then you can start to take on longer journeys and more sorts of different journeys. But yeah, hopefully there's lots of good advice in that blog for you, just to help you get some ideas about how to get started. Okay, and finally, last bit before we do Q&A on this, and then we'll move on to the Komoot route planning bit. These are the next steps. So if you're already registered, brilliant, then make sure that you're in the Love to Ride, in the Switch Your Journey group on Love to Ride. If you haven't registered yet for the challenge, that's the joining link. So you do that first, and then you join the Switch Your Journey group on Love to Ride. If you've requested the bike access codes, then we will send those to you by email once you've joined the group on Love to Ride. We're checking that. We will be checking it daily moving forward from today. So the bike access codes should be being sent every sort of 1 to 2 days. So if anybody thinks that they should have already received a bike access code and they haven't, if you can just email us on events@cyclesisters.org.uk, and then we can just check it out and just figure out what's going on and inshallah sort that out for you. And then once you've done all of that, then it's just starting to think about what sorts of journeys you might like to make, and hopefully with the help of doing the Komoot route planning session tonight, you'll be able to start planning some actual journeys that you might do. Okay, brilliant. So I'm going to just pause there before I hand over to Grace to do the bit about route planning, and let me just make sure that everybody can actually unmute themselves. So do we have any questions about how Switch Your Journey works, or anything that I've covered that you'd like to ask before we move on to the route planning bit?
Sorry, I do have. Can you hear me?
Yes, Abla, yes, go ahead.
Sorry. I did register this straight away once you announced about it, but I don't know if my name is showing. Am I doing the right thing? I'm not sure about Love to Ride. The other thing is, I'm worried about connecting to all these apps and all these maps. how easy it is in the morning to set it up
Yeah.
before I go to
Okay.
work, because
So
I'm going to work with my. Uh, so
oh, I
that
missed the last
that's
bit.
the point. It's gonna take me how long? Sorry. What I'm saying is how long in the morning to set up the app and the
Mhm.
journey to get it
Yeah.
going.
Okay.
So
Yeah, that's fine.
that's
Yeah. Thank you for the question. So, first of all, I'm writing down your name and I'm going to just double check after the call that you're registered, okay? And if there's any issues, we'll get in touch with you directly. In terms of how long it takes to set it up, so it depends which method of tracking your journeys you want to use. If you want to go with so if you're going to get the Love to Ride app, then you set it up at the start and then that's it. You don't actually have to do anything else because then you're just logging your journeys
okay.
automatically. So it will pick it up for you.
Okay.
So that's why that's the easiest option. If you don't want to
Mm-hmm.
download another app on your phone, for any reason you don't want to use that one, if you already use Strava, you can connect that one. But then again, if you don't want to do that, then the final option is that you'll need to upload every ride separately. So with that option, you will need to know obviously like how long your ride is roughly. So whether it's 5 miles, 3 miles, like that. So then you can just manually add it and you don't have to do it straight away. You could like sit down at the end of the first week if you wanted to and just like add, if you did 3 rides in the first week, at the end of the first week, just sit down and add those 3 rides onto the Love to Ride website. So that there's 3 different options of how to do it. Everyone needs to figure out for them which one is going to work best. So what I would
Yeah.
recommend, if Shifa can share in the chat the link to the FAQs, I'd recommend that everybody reads the FAQs because there's some like really nice, like clear instructions in there with like pictures and like a step-by-step guide of how to do it. So I think that's going to be easier to have a look at that and then decide which one you want to do.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I will get back to you if there's any issues with your registration, but inshallah it's fine.
Okay.
So
Well,
thank you.
I will choose only one, which is Love to Ride.
Mhm.
Today I tried Komodo, a new app for the map, Komoot
Komoot,
for
yes. So this is
um,
in a minute.
yes.
In a minute, we're going to have Grace from Komoot is going to be showing you all how Komoot works. So she's going to be going through that. So hopefully you'll leave the webinar today feeling like you understand how to use Komoot if you want
Okay.
to use that for planning your routes. So Komoot is an optional part of the challenge. It's just if anybody wants some help with planning how to, planning your route. If you've got a particular journey you want to do, but you've got no idea where to start with how you would go there by bike, then this is where Komoot comes in because you can put in your 2 destinations and Grace is going to show us how this works and like plan a really nice cycle-friendly route of how to get there. So we'll be going through that
Brilliant.
in like next sort of 5 minutes or so. We'll be getting onto that. So yeah, I think listen to what Grace goes through, and if you've got any further questions, then we can help you, inshallah. Yeah. All
Thank
right.
you very
Any
much.
other questions?
Thank you.
No problem at all, sister. Any other questions about the Switch Your Journey challenge and how it works? Feel free to put your hand up, or you can just start speaking. Yes, Oz iPad. Do you want to go ahead? Wait a minute. You're on mute. Are you able to unmute?
Sorry, it's Navita.
That's
Navita, yeah?
Navita. Hey.
Yeah. Shall we download the Komoot while we're talking to you so we can follow her instructions, or
Grace, would that be helpful for people to have the app downloaded?
You can download it now if you want to. I would probably suggest to just watch the webinar so that you've got sort of full attention on what's
okay,
happening.
all right,
So
okay,
otherwise you can
all
get a
right.
bit
I've
lost.
got it ready. I've got it ready anyway. So.
Okay, perfect. And we are recording it, so it might be that
Okay.
you forget some bits and want to
Yeah.
go back and have
Yeah.
another look.
Okie dokie.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, there was a couple of questions that were submitted in advance that I'm just going to really quickly run through. So what someone said, I don't have a car, so I'll only be able to switch public transport journeys. Does that meet the objectives of the challenge? Yes, absolutely. It's about any journey that you do in any way other than cycling, really. So taking the train, bus, or driving or being driven by somebody else or a taxi. The idea is to try for cycling for, I've talked about the environmental benefits of cycling, but obviously the benefits of cycling go way beyond that. Being able to make cycling a daily part of your life and cycle to get around has such huge benefits for your health, for your well-being, just feeling more connected with your community, and there's so many different benefits that go along with it. So even if you're currently just get the bus, you can definitely switch those journeys, and that's very much part of what we're trying to achieve with this challenge. Next question was, are rental bikes allowed? So you can use any bike that you want to participate in the challenge. E-bikes are absolutely fine. That question often comes up, like, does that count? Yes, absolutely. E-bikes are brilliant, and if you've got an e-bike and want to use that, then go for that. As I've mentioned on the presentation, we also have the Brompton folding bikes and the Santander cycle schemes that you can access through the challenge, but any other sort of rental bike that you want to access, you can use that as well. Then we had a question about cycling with children. So is it possible for children to get involved in the challenge? Again, yes, that would be brilliant. A lot of us are mums, so if we don't involve our children, it's quite difficult to make cycling part of your day-to-day life. I know this can be quite a big barrier for people because it's challenging getting children to feel safe and confident with your children while you're cycling together. I think the route planning really comes into this, making sure that you've got really good routes that feel safe and feel that they'll work for your family. We also, on our top switching tips blog, which is linked in the presentation, and I will share the link again tomorrow, we've got some resources on there about how to cycle with your family and things like accessing family cycling equipment and all that kind of thing. So hopefully that will be helpful. And then last question that was submitted was, is it possible to see other riders other riders who are taking part? So yes, two ways that you can do that. So on the Switch Your Journey group on Love to Ride, you'll be able to see everybody who's participating in the challenge. And you can see the sorts of rides that you're doing. And then also by being part of our WhatsApp group as well, then people will be sharing, they'll be sharing photos and stories of what they're doing. So that will also give you an insight into what other people are up to. So those were all the questions that were submitted in advance. Just like last minute or so, if anyone's got any other questions before we move on to the Komoot section.
Nope.
Okay, all right. Well, we can always come back we'll have 5 minutes at the end or so. But I will hand over to Grace from Komoot now to run us through the route planning section.
Hi everybody, thank you for having me, and thanks for spending your evening with us. It's nice to see so many people here. So just to check, can you see the workshop presentation?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, we can do that.
Have I still got you pinned on this, Sarah?
It's right, I pinned you now.
Oh, right,
I've
okay,
unpinned
perfect.
myself.
Okay. Yeah, so in the workshop I'll give you a bit of an intro to Komoot for those of you that don't know what it is. I'll talk about ready-made routes so that you can find routes in your area. A bit about route planning, which I think will probably be most useful to you lot for the challenge. Using Komoot for group rides and hikes, creating collections, and then a bit about safety, privacy, and sharing routes as well. So what is Komoot? So Komoot is an app that helps you to find, plan and share your adventures with the Easy Route Planner. And it's driven by a desire to explore, and it's powered by the outdoor community and recommendations from lots of different people in the community. We've got over 45 million users, and you can use Komoot anywhere in the world. So you can use it for hiking, cycling, so that's mountain biking, e-bikes, road cycling, gravel cycling, and running as well. So if you're into different sports, you can use it anywhere in the world for different sport types. These are a few of our brand values. So we care about nature conservation, we care about being inclusive and staying local. So we have community managers and we work in all different countries around Europe. So myself, I'm work in the UK. So we work with different partners and brands and community groups so that we can stay local. And we're all about the experience. So it's not about how far and how fast. It's about the joy of getting outside and making the outdoors more accessible. So you'll see there's not lots of stats on Komoot, so it doesn't give you like fastest times and things. So it's more about, like we said, the experience of being out. So it runs on this flywheel, which it's circular like this. So a user plans their route. And if you see at the top, they go off and they navigate. They add some photos, add some highlights, which are, I'll show you those are like points of interest. And then someone else sees that in the community, they get inspired, they plan their own route and they add to it, and it's constantly evolving. So you'll see in some areas, for example, in London, you'll see lots of highlights and points of interest because it's super popular. And then in other areas that are less touristy or less discovered, you'll not see quite as many highlights. And it just means that you can add more to it as you go along. Yeah, so this is ready-made routes. So these are recommendations from the community. It's generated from a amalgamation of lots of highly rated routes and popular routes, different sport types I've mentioned. You can find them in anywhere in the world, different cities, regions. You can find local routes, or you can type in somewhere that you're going on holiday or workplace, and you can find routes around there. So you can search anywhere you like. You can start from bus and train stations, and you can also filter by the different specifications. So I will just show you this. So Komoot looks slightly different on desktop to mobile. So when you open it up, it'll look slightly different, but it's got the same tabs along the bottom. So this is when you go on your laptop or desktop. So if you see at the top, first you've got the home page. So this is like a feed. So it's like if you look on Instagram or Facebook, and in this you'll see all your friends and people that you follow. So you can follow their rides. So if you connect and follow each other, it's quite nice that you can see routes that everybody else has done around London or when they've been on holiday. And you can also find different people in your area and also different collections to inspire you as well to find different routes. But for if you see at the top, the next one is routes. So when you click on that one, so I'm in Swansea at the minute, so that's bringing up routes around here. So you can change this. You can choose backpacking, hiking, cycling, mountain biking, road cycling, running, and gravel riding. So if we stick to cycling, and if you say you want to find routes around London, so now that brings up, if you have a look, there's like 1,000+ rides around this area, and you can just literally move it around. So if you say if you're going on holiday and you're going up to Cambridge, you can move that, put search this area, and it'll bring up all different suggestions around that area instead. So just to show you, if you are going on holiday, Scotland, you can then do the same thing and you can search around there. So as I say, you can do this for anywhere you're going in the world. So it's super useful if you're traveling or visiting anybody, you can find routes anywhere. So I first started using it in the Netherlands, and I used to go off and I was living with the local family and find local routes, and they were like, how do you know all these cool places? And I'm like, no, it's this app called Komoot. You can just find cool things anywhere. So yeah, so if we're looking around London, you can start from your home address, so you can actually add in your home in there, and then it'll always recognize your home, and you can find routes around where you live. So it's really nice if you have not explored that much on your bike around your home. You can always find like cool new routes wherever you live. You can change the radius, so up to 300 miles or wherever you've dropped the pin. And then you can also change this filter as well. So if you say you want to get used to going out on your bike locally, you only want to do 2.5 hours, you can change the difficulty level. So you might say you don't want to do expert, you only want to do up to intermediate. You can either start from anywhere, you can start from a bus stop, car park, or a train station. And you can also change the elevation. So yeah, if you just want to get familiar with getting out on your bike locally, you might want to find some local routes. You can choose off-road or road. As you can see, that changes. So there's 40 rides around this area that are off-road, or if you want to stay on the road, that's got 1,000 rides. You can choose a loop or an out and back. So if we say we want to do a loop and come back to where we started. So that's now showing we've still got 1,000+ rides. And if you see on the side, it shows the difficulty level. So that says easy. And if you have a look, it's got the time, the distance, and the elevation as well. So you can click into that one. So if you want, say if you wanted to do this sightseeing around Regent's Park, you can click onto it and it's got 71 photos. So you can click on, I won't go through them all, but you can have a look. So you know exactly what to expect when you go on that ride and exactly what you're going to see. Oops. And then you can see the elevation as well. So if you have a look, it shows you where the steep bits are, and that white circle moves around, and you can see where the steep sections are. It also shows you the way types as well. So it's saying how much is on cycleway, how much is on the street, and how much is on a road. And then it shows you the surface type as well. So cobbles, paved, asphalt as well. And then these, so that was starting at the train station. But as I say, you could put your home address in, and then it'll bring up all the routes that start from your house as well. That are within the filters that you've put in. So these are the highlights. So it's like a point of interest that someone's added. So it shows St Paul's Cathedral, Tower of London, the mural. And when you scroll down, you can have a look, and it moves around to show you exactly where these points are along the way. And so if you like the look of this route and you think it's a nice practice route or nice sightseeing route if you're taking your family out, you click save, and that is now saved on your profile. Yeah, I think we've got a question. Should we do questions now or?
It's probably, should we wait till the end?
Yeah, okay. Yeah, so
Yeah.
if we do that, we'll wait to the end. And then it might be that I've answered some of the questions within it. But if you just make a note of your question and then we can go through all that at the end. So you found all these routes. And you can have a look through, and you can just, if you like some and you think I'm going on holiday somewhere, or you like the look of a route, you can just click on it, click save, and they will just save onto your profile so that you can come back to them later. And if you see on the top, the next tab along says saved, and that's where all your routes will save in there. So it's quite nice if you want to explore
Green, I'm
and just
afraid.
save some for later. So that's individual routes that you can find. And then we've also got these things called collections. So a collection is basically like a folder of routes. So we're recently doing a project with Transport for London. And it's about getting people cycling. So it's useful for your project, your challenge. So this one is showing all the cycling routes around Waltham Forest. So you can like it, you can save that one. So if you think you can read all the information. So it's saying Cycle Sundays is designed to encourage cycling and give you some tips. And it shows where on the map they all are. So you can scroll out and have a look exactly where they are. And if you like the look of these, you can just save that, click save, and you can save that one onto your profile as well. You can also invite people. So if you wanted to invite a friend or someone else from the challenge, you can invite them along to that. So again, you've saved that one now, and that's saved on your profile for later. So you can literally go through if you like the look of some of these and just click save and save them all, so they're saved on your profile. But as I say, if you click save there, it saves the whole collection on your profile, which I'll show you that in a second. And so we have lots of these different ones. So we've got collection from Halfords, Raffa, so gravel club house rides, if anyone's into gravel cycling. Another Transport for London. So you can also follow these profiles if you want to get some inspiration. This is going to load. So if you click on Transport for London, this brings up their profile. And if you look on the left, you can click follow. So you're now following that profile, so you can easily go in and search for them and find them for later. And you can have a look through their routes and their collections and to get some inspiration on routes that have been approved and that people have already been on before. So yes, so that's how to find routes and how to find collections in a certain area. And if you change the sport type, so let's say we want to do mountain biking, that will suggest different routes to find. So as you look on the collection, that's a mountain biking collection by Catherine Moore, and that's day trips from London. So as you can see, it's got slightly different ones, and that will pick slightly different terrain. So it'll try and pick more off-road to if you're selecting, for example, road cycling. Again, on that one, we've got Clubhouse road rides as well from London. So that's how to find routes that are already existing. And another thing that you can do, if you like a route, you can scroll down and click Edit Route. So now that brings up this existing one, but you might want to change it slightly. You might want to add something into it or change the starting point. And so you can make changes to it and edit it. So then let's just have a look. So if you save the route, I'll just show you how to change the starting point. So if you click on this little arrow when you've gone onto the route, and it says move start point. So you might like the look of this route, but you might say, actually, I want to start in Ilford. So if you click on that, it's now starting at this point. It's now starting here over in Ilford. And if you click save and got it, then if you click edit, you can now go in and change the route and move it around. So you might decide that you want to cut out all of this section of the route, or you might want to cut some bits of it out. So you can literally just click on these waypoints and remove them. So you can really customize it to however you want it to be. So you might say you want to take all that bit out and you only want to go down to here, to Churchwell, or you might want to just go to the coffee place. If you click on that, click include on route, and now that's just taking you down to the coffee stop. And you're starting over in Ilford. I'll show you more how to route plan, but that's sort of how easy it is to edit a route that you found online already. So I really like finding existing routes and then just sort of adapting them and moving them around a bit to how you want it to be. So if you click save, so that's now saved as the updated version on my profile. And you can scroll through and have a look at the photos and the highlights in there. So yeah, so you've got the route that you found online, and then you've edited it to change the starting point and to take a bit of it out and adapt it to how you want it to be. So if you want to plan a totally new route and you don't want to find an existing route, or you just want to start a route from your house to go to work, what you would do then is click on the routes tab and then click on plan new route in the top corner. So this is bringing up a totally blank map, and you just start from scratch of wherever you want it to be. So we put in a place. So let's say we want to start in London. You'll click start here. So A is the starting point. If you just want me to explain the map a bit, so if you click on this where it says maps, you've got the Komoot map, which is the main one that we use. We've got Komoot satellite map, So if you like to have a look at in satellite view, if you want to look at the parks or the rivers or lakes or anything. And then we've got hiking. Then cycling. And if you look, it changes the cycleways. If you change the map, so if you put hiking, it shows you all the hiking routes. And if you change to cycling, it shows you the cycling ones. And if you put mountain biking, again, that changes the map as well, to show you the mountain biking option. But if we keep it on cycling, that's the best option. And it shows you the national trails. But if you're not sure what anything is, if you click on in the bottom right corner, there's a question mark, and that is for the map key. If you click on that one, if you click on map key, and it shows you exactly what everything is. So it shows you motorways, the main roads, bridleways for cycling, cycleways, and it shows you like if you're into mountain biking, it shows you the single track scale, so like S1, and then it explains the difficulty rating as well. If you click into this, so S0 is the easiest, S5 is incredibly demanding. It shows railway lines, steps, gates, cycle barriers, yeah, different options. So if you forget what anything is, you can just click on that on the map key and have a look at it. Yeah, and just while I'm explaining it, I will just show you the highlights. So the highlights, they said, are like the points of interest. So you can see the red circles on the map. So whenever you change the sport type, that will change the highlights. So at the moment, we've got it on road cycling. So all of the red circles that you will see are road cycling highlights. So this is a Japanese style park. What else have we got? Victoria Canal Path, Park Canal Path. So this highlight is something that anyone can add, and it basically helps to inspire other people to visit it and to explore more. And we ask people to add it as if they were speaking to a friend. So if you see a castle or a nice cafe or something that you think, oh, that's really cool, I'd love someone else to see this, we say take a photo and you can add it on as a highlight, and you can add in information and pictures. So if you have a look, plenty of benches to have a rest, nice autumn colours, and you can have a look through, and you can, if you think some tips are helpful, you can give it a thumbs up, and it means more people will see it. And you can also add in your own comments as well if you've visited that highlight. So like this one is great stretch of cycle route along the Thames River. And again, you can click into that and you can have a look, and then you know exactly what you're going to expect when you get to this point. So again, it's just useful that you can add in lots of different things yourself. So if you change that one, if you change it to mountain biking, this will change the highlights that you see. So this one is mountain bike trails, velo park, and again, there's some information in there. And if you change it to running, again, you'll then see running highlights instead. So if we keep it on cycling, so these are all the cycling ones that you'll see. The other things that you will see on the map are like these different places. So you can click picnic benches. So if you see this little, it's like the little circle with a picnic bench and a tree, and they just appear on the map, so you can add them, whichever ones you want. So you might want to look for picnic benches along your route. You might want to look for parks. If you see the little trees appear, train stations, if you're wanting to start or finish at a train station, public toilets, And there's also, if you're going out with kids, I think there's for the kids as well, playgrounds, different play areas that you can have a look. So it just makes it more interesting if you want to stop along the way and look for these sites. So yeah, you can add in as many of them as you want, or you can take them out, and it just means it will remove the circle from the map. So if we leave those ones in, and we can also change the pace as well. So we've got anything from relaxed up to very fast. So I tend to keep it on moderate unless I think I'm going to be walking quite fast or cycling fast if I'm in a hurry. But it just means it'll change the duration of the route, which I'll show you in a second. And at the moment it's set to one way, but you can change it to round trip. I keep it on one way for the moment. So if we say we want to start, so we're starting in London at point A, and let's say we want to go to Luton. So we put set as destination. And if you see, it automatically plans you the best route to get there for cycling. If you change the sport type, so if you go from cycling to mountain biking, if you see, it moves the route slightly, so then it'll try to take you more off-road. But if you choose road cycling, it will try to keep you on the road. So that is, I know we had some questions of some people prefer to go on the road, some people prefer to go off-road. So that would be where you change the sport type, and it will automatically find you the best route based on that. So it'll try to keep you on the road if you choose road cycling, and it'll try to keep you off-road as much as possible if you choose mountain biking. So yeah, so at the moment we're going from London to Luton, and it's saying this will take you 3 hours 33, and it's 36 miles, 1,400 feet of elevation. It's saying that this will be an intermediate bike ride. And then it also shows you the way types as well. So it says this will be 49% on cycleway, 10% on the street, 19% on the road. And then I'll just show you if you change that one to mountain biking, it changes that to saying, so it's 19% on the road for mountain biking. So if you change it to road cycling, that one is saying it's 16% on the road, 51% on the state road. So you can just see sort of the difference in variation of how much will be on the road based on which one you choose, which sport type. And it also shows you the surfaces. So it shows you gravel, paved, and asphalt as well. And if you want to, then if you want to have a look at the road, so if you're not super confident going on busy roads, if you have a look on this one, which is State Road, you can click on that one and it will zoom in to show you exactly which sections of it are on the road. So if you have a look, so it's got this section on the road. And if you click it again, it just moves you along so you can have a look. But what you can also do is if you press this hide route, you can hide the tour line so you can actually have a look. And if you remember, so this one is the yellow one. So if you click on the map key, this one is the main road. And if you want to have a look how it looks, instead of having to open up Google Street Maps directly, you can literally just click onto this and there's a little person there which says Open Google Street View. And you can just have a look and you can literally follow the route to see exactly where you'd be going. So you see, you're going this way and then you'll be turning down this road. So you can do the whole route in advance. So I've done that before because I'm not super confident cycling on the roads. So it just means you can have a look at the whole way to see how it looks. So yeah, get the idea. Just gives you a bit of confidence then to know where you're turning and how busy the roads look. And then you might want to add in little highlights along the way, so to make it a bit interesting, or see exactly where you'll be going. So if you have a look, we've got a nice view of Battersea Power Station. So you might decide, actually, I want to include that one en route, and that'll do you a little detour to that one. And you can just literally go along the route to see what will be along the way. So there's a little reservoir here. So you might want to go and stop at the reservoir as well on your way to or from work. So if you do include en route, that's just taking you on a little detour now, taking you into the reservoir. You can have a look at the viewpoint, and then it's taking you back to the route. So again, really nice if you're going out with kids, doing a ride with kids, and you want to include like a picnic stop or something. Include that one. And again, that's just taking you into the route and then back along the main route that you were taking. And then there is on this section near Edgware, I was going to show you, there is a roundabout here. So I did see that somebody said that they don't like going on under the tunnel things, whatever they're called. Let's just have a look. So you can have a look at them to see if you're going under any. And again, you can have a look on these on Google Street Views. So because this one, we've clicked cycling, if you click road cycling, this one is then taking you on along here. And if you click on the road here, so it's taking you along this cycle path. So this one is actually fine because it's just taking you, it's not going under the underground. But you can have a look to see if it is taking you on the underground anywhere. So it was somewhere. Oops. So you can just have a look to see where it's taking you. So this one, let's have a look. And you can just check what it looks like. It's not taking you on there. So you can literally look at the whole route just to double check. And the other thing that you can do is also, we've got something called Trail View. So so the Google Maps option is really good for looking at the actual roads to see what the roads are like. But if you choose mountain biking, and it takes you through a park somewhere, let's have a look if it's taking you through a park. For example, along here. So you can't actually click on the Google Street View, because if you want to see what this is underneath, if you hide the tour line, this is taking you on just like a trail. So that's taking you off-road. But if you click on these little green circles, it shows you what the terrain looks like. So then you can make a decision over whether you want to actually cycle there. And if you don't like the idea of going along there, that's when you can change it back to road cycling. And if you look, then that one's taking you back on the road. But again, the same if you're choosing road cycling, but you want to just double check. But the other thing that you can also do is if you actually do want to go this way, but you want to do everything you want to do is a road cycling route, except for this one bit, you don't want to go along this section of the road because you think it's too busy. You can actually just drag this across and drop and drag the route across. Or maybe you just want to take a little detour to the reservoir and you just think there's no point in going back out onto the road. You can just drag the trail across and now it's taking you, if you look on the blue line, it's now taking you slightly in and then back onto the road. And so you can move the starting point and the finish point. So if at the minute you finish in somewhere in the high street, if you want to finish up at Waterdown Park, you can just drag the finish up there and it'll move the finish point. So I think this was might have been one of the sections where it. So again, you can have a look at that, and then if you think, right, this looks too busy, don't want to be around here, you might want to then change the finish point, or you might want to take a detour. And you might want to go in here and along these streets, and then you can actually just avoid this whole section of the road. So you can drag and drop wherever you want, move it across, and it'll take you on a slightly different way. So you don't have to, Komoot will suggest you the best way to get there based on what sport type you've chosen, but you don't have to go that way. You can just chop it and change it however you want. And when you're happy with the route, if that's starting at work at point A and taking you home to point B, and you like this one, you can have a look at the elevation, and you might see, right, it gets a bit steep here, and if you see, it literally shows you the white circle along the way, so you can have a look. You can change that to the way types, so it shows you along the way where the road changes, so it goes from cycleway to road. So you can go into like so much detail if obviously you're a bit sort of apprehensive about the terrain or the route or anything, you can just sort of follow the whole route on Google Street View and look at it. You can look at the terrain, you can look at where it goes steep, you can look at bits where you can go sort of into a like an off-road section, or you can try and get back onto a road and avoid undergrounds, or avoid going through a forest or something if it's dark at night. So you can really like chop and change how you want it to be. And it might be that you want to do one going through a park in the morning, but when you're coming back later on, you might want to stay on the road. So you could do two slightly separate routes. So if you like this route, you click save. So this one, you can give it a name. So you might say from work to home in the evening, road ride. So and if you give it something that's memorable, so it might be that you want an easy one on a different day, or you want to try a different route, you can name them whatever you want. You can, as I said, invite people to it. So if you've got someone else that's doing the challenge, or a friend or a child, or someone doing it, you can invite them there. You can also share this QR code as well. So you get the big one, but it's the same on your phone as well. If you press the share button, you can either send the link on like WhatsApp or whatever, or you can share the QR code if you're setting off together and you want the other person to have the route. So it's not just you navigating, they also get the route. So that's saved onto your profile. And just to show you this one, it says there's a section that includes a segment in which cycling is not permitted. So if you click on details, when it opens. So on the left-hand side, it'll say after 15.2 miles for 125 yards, there's a section where cycling is not permitted. So then you would just click on that little blue bit and it takes you in and it'll show you where that is. So it's just saying this section where you're going into the park, cycling's not permitted there. So it might be that you want to into the picnic area, you might want to just sort of move that slightly. It's gone a bit funny. So you can just drag and drop that, but it's just crashed a bit at the minute. And you can move that along, but then you know that you just need to get off your bike here and you can walk to this section, or it'll show you the same if there's some steps. So it says the surface for a segment of your route may not be suitable. So if you click on that bit, it'll show you where it's not suitable. So it's, again, you can have a look and decide for yourself. So you might decide you're on a bike that you think could actually get through this park because it looks quite easy to get through. Or you might have been that way before. But again, if not, if you think, I'm not sure if my bike would be very good going through the park, you can just drag that across and go back onto on the road section. It's just crashed at a second. Right, yeah. So yeah, you just drag it back across. And the red line is showing you where the route used to be, but where it is now. So again, yeah, the P's are parking, and you've got the little bus stops, so you can also change the route, start at bus stop as well, if you will be getting the bus. So that's the other thing that you can do is a premium feature is that you can see the wind. So if you click on wind and say you might be going tomorrow morning at 9 AM, click save. It then should bring up the little wind icons. It seems to just not be working at this minute. But it basically brings up like little arrows to show you which direction the wind is going in. And at the moment it is set as a one-way route, so it's saying it'll take you 2.5 hours. But if you want to do it as a round trip, so if you know you're going there and back, you click round trip and it'll show you for the whole trip it's going to take you 4 hours 43. If we set it to one way. So yeah, happy with the changes, click save. So that's now saved on your profile. And it'll show the highlights that you added to it. So we've got the power station in there, and you can add in as many as you want along the route, and that means that they will show up on here with the photos. So you can download the GPX file. So if you want to add it onto another platform, or if you've got like a bike computer or something, you can download the GPX file there. But it also syncs with like any watches or Garmin's, Suntoes and things. So you can just sync it live to navigate through your Garmin or whatever device you've got as well. The other thing that you can do is adding it into a collection. So say if you want to create a collection that is rides around London, because you've got the premium feature, you can create your own collection and you can add it in there. So you can add as many routes as you want into that collection so that you've got a memory of and a reminder of which ones it is that you want to do around either your home or around London or around work or something. Or you might save like route to work, route to drop the kids at school, route to family's house or something. And then yeah, you've got them all saved in one place. And then to find your routes, if you click on profile, and this brings up my profile now, so you can find your followers and find your friends. You can find your own collections. So these are all the collections that I've created. So I've got all different adventures that I've been on. I've got hikes around where I live in Swansea. I've got hiking rally that I did last year, different holidays and things that I've been on, walks in Wales. So you can create as many as you want and you can keep these private as well. And so if you go into collections, if you click on saved, these are all the ones that other people have done. If you remember the ones that we found when you save them, these all save here. So these are ones that I want to come back to later. So a friend created a cycling across France collection, which I wanted to save. And then we've got someone's done the Windermere Way, walks in the Peak District. And this just means that I can go back to them at another time. So if I'm visiting the Peak District, I can easily find these routes. And then if you click on personal, these are all the ones that I've personally created. So that's just where you would find your collections if you want to create them. And then for your actual routes that you've created, if you click on saved routes, I've got quite a lot, 1,100. I should probably go through them. So these are all the ones that I've saved. So this is the one that I've just created from work to home in the evening, and that one is saved there. And then completed activities, that's obviously all the ones that you've done and you've completed. So once you've done these for the challenge, if you go into completed activities, they'll all be saved to you and you can have like a full record of them. And I'll just show that you can add all sorts of different photos. And so I did like a hostel to hostel hike in the Lake District. And you can add in photos. So if you've done rides with your family or anything, holidays or just around London, or you just want a record to show that you did the challenge, and perhaps you want to try and win the Brompton bike and you want to show someone a cool ride that you did after work and a picnic, this would be quite a good way that you can show it and tell the story. So you can add in highlights. So if you've seen anything cool, you can add that in as a point of interest, and you can add your photos in as well. Like I said, just it's a good way of keeping the memory and showing other people. You can inspire other people that are part of the challenge, and you can also write in some information. So I quite like using it as a place to share the information for other people to find it. So I explained which YHA I stayed in, and a bit about the food and how much it was. But you could just put in anything that you want about your day or the route or the challenge that you're doing. Yeah, and it's a good memory, good way to share it with friends. And then for that one, you can, if you click on who can see this, you can either keep it private, so you can just keep it as a personal memory. You can choose close friends. So maybe just a few of you that are doing the challenge or just close friends, you want to just add them on Komoot, and then just they can see where you've been. Or you can set it to anyone, so anyone in your community that you follow can see that as well. So yeah, that's
Great.
Yep.
Okay. So, great. So I was going to say, are we all right to move to questions in a sec? Because we've got loads of questions in the chat.
Yes. I will just show privacy. So if you go to settings, and then if you click on privacy, you can keep your profile public or you can put it private as well. So that means nobody can see your profile except from your friends. And you can block accounts. So if there's people that you don't want to see, you can block them. And then also the content, I keep it private to me, and then I can put it public when I decide either I put nice photos in or I don't want everyone to see everything that I do. And then the other thing is you can add privacy zones. So if you click manage privacy zones, you can add in, so you can add in your home, you can add in work, you can add in kids' school, gym, anything. So I've got all my mum's house, place I've been on holiday, different places. So it means that if I share it as public, nobody can see the local area where it started or finished. So it'll just show it started there, it finished there, but it doesn't show where in between there it actually started or finished. Just means that you can still share things with people and your friends, but it keeps your personal stuff private. Yeah, I feel like I've given you a lot of information there. So it looks slightly different on your phone. So that's how it looks. I've shown planning, I've shown privacy. We've also got live tracking. So you can share your live tracking link with someone and they can follow along to see where you are, whether you're cycling home in the dark and you want a partner to see where you are or something, or share it with a friend, or if you're meeting someone for coffee and you're like, follow my route and you can see whereabouts I am. You can do that as well. So again, that's private premium feature, but you'll have access to that. And you can use that. Showing collections. You can navigate on any different device. I've shown QR codes, so you can easily share it with friends. We did get asked this question about downloading it for offline. So you can download this once you've saved it onto your personal profile. If you click save, go into the route, saved routes, and click where you see there it says save offline. You just click the toggle and it'll say downloading, and then make sure it says saved offline and it's gone green. And that just means that you can put your phone on airplane mode. You might have no signal if you're going off into the hills or a place where there's you've not got signal, or you just want to save battery or just zone out and go on airplane mode. You can do that and it'll still navigate and show the map as well. And another questions that we got asked was voice navigation. So if you click on, once you've started the route, if you click controls, you can add voice navigation. So it'll say turn left, turn right. In 60 meters, you're taking a right turn. And you can turn that off or have it on. And it just means when you're cycling, it makes it a lot easier, so you're not having to fully focus on it. It shows you the distance and the time that you've travelled and got remaining, your average speeds, and then you can reroute whilst you're on the tour as well. So if you take a wrong turn, it'll reroute you automatically to get you back on track and find you the quickest way to get back to the original route. But also, if you decide you want to change it while you're on the route, you can do that. Add in another coffee stop or someone else's house or something, and then it'll still update your route as well for you. Yeah, so there's lots of information. If you get stuck, I can share this tips and tricks guides, and you can find all these to find out any questions. Yeah, that was a lot of information. Whistle stop tour. Yes, questions.
Yeah, no, that was great. Thank you so much, Grace. Really informative.
No problem.
So I'm just going to quickly run through the questions that were posted
Yep.
while you were speaking. I think some of them you've covered now, which is great.
Mhm.
So we had a few questions around, can you just talk through what's available on the free version of Komoot, and then what do you get with a subscription?
Yeah, so on the free version, it shows you on this one, so it'll say maps. So you get a free map when you sign up to Komoot. So you can choose your local area. So you could choose London, for example. And then you can also buy the world pack of maps. So it's only £20. And I think it's 20 when you first sign up. And that gives you unlimited world maps to download offline anywhere in the world. So I would highly recommend getting that because it's just a one-off payment. So with the free maps that you get, like I say, you can download London first. You get turn-by-turn navigation, downloading offline. It's available on. I know that one's premium feature. Weekly updates. So then the premium features are multi-day planner. So I've not gone into that one. That's another webinar totally. Sport specific maps. So you would get like the basic Komoot map on the free version, and then on the premium version, you can change the map between like cycling and hiking, weather, live tracking, and creating personal collections is premium as well. But as I say, we give you the free trial of premium so you can try it out and see what you think. But usually the just having the basic map version is enough for a lot of people, because you can still get the voice navigation, download it offline, and you can still find routes, plan routes. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, pretty much everything you've showed today is on the free version with like a few additional features you showed, like the wind,
Yes.
being able to
Yes.
see the wind and that kind of thing as well. So yeah, if you wanted to use the free version initially, guys, like that will be absolutely fine. It should be able to do everything that you want to do. Okay, then we had a question around so selecting like other options thing. So can you only, there were two questions around this. So one is, can you only select routes with cycle paths? Like, is that like a tick box that you could select? And then is there a way to opt out of underpasses and subways? I know you talked about it in terms of like moving the route around, but is there like a tick box where you can say like, I don't want any underpasses or subways on my route?
There isn't, unfortunately. But if so, the best option that I would say is to choose like gravel riding. So that would take you to the more off-road routes. So if you're planning a route and you choose gravel riding, that'll try and keep you off-road as much as possible. And then it'd just be a case of having a look on along the route, doing the Google Maps, Google Street View option, and just having a quick look. And you can literally, I couldn't find one to show you, but you can quite easily navigate off it. There's usually not another option, so you can just stay on the roundabout, or you can go on the side streets. But as I say, you can just sort of drag and drop it and totally go along the route using the Google Maps. But unfortunately, there's not a way to only stay on cycle routes. But if you choose gravel riding, it will keep you off road as much as possible and on the cycle paths.
Brilliant. Okay. And then when it comes to editing the routes, is that something that you can only do on the website version, or can you edit and plan routes on the app, on the mobile version as well?
Yes, you can do it on mobile as well. It's easier to drag and drop and to follow like on Google Street View on desktop or like on a laptop. But you can also plan and edit routes on mobile as well, which is super easy to do.
Brilliant. And so you don't have to have a bike computer to use Komoot. You can use it on your phone like you would use
Yes.
Google Maps. But somebody has asked, is there any particular bike computer that is best to use with Komoot, or is it fine with all the kind of standard ones like Garmin and Hammerhead and what are
Yeah.
the other ones called? Wahoo?
So we pretty much sync with connect with all of them. We do with Garmin, we have like this live sync. So it's just that if you update your route on your phone, it automatically live updates on your Garmin as well. Whereas on other devices, you just have to click send to device, send updated route to device, and do it that way. So it's only like one extra step. But with Garmin's, it's like this live update. So you don't have to do anything. Update it on your phone, and it automatically updates on Garmin as well.
Mm. Okay, brilliant. And then someone asked, if you share your route with a friend or colleague, can they see your location if they join you later on the route? So is that what you were showing in terms of like the tracker? So you can share the tracker with people and show where you are on the route?
Yes. I've not got an easy way of showing live sync, but so yeah, if you share this just explains a bit about it, how to share it. There's an article online, but it shows you exactly whereabouts on the route they are. So you can just literally follow them along. So I've got a friend that always shares their live tracking when we meet in like for a walk or something, and you can just see exactly where they are if they stopped or yeah, and how much they've got left on the route. and it tells you when the route's been completed as well. But if someone shares their route with you, and if they share it like if you share it this way, if you just do share route, then they just get access to the route themselves. But if you do organized group ride, that means if you make any changes to the route, that'll update on their route as well. So if you just want them to have their own route, click share. But if you want them to be on your actual route, click organized group ride. Yeah, and it just means that if you make any changes or update it while you're cycling, that they'll get instant updates at the same time.
Oh, that's good. Didn't know about that feature.
Mhm.
So someone else asked in one of the questions that was submitted before, if you go wrong on your route when you're following it, what happens then? Does the route automatically reroute you?
Yeah, so it does. If you've got the voice navigation on, it says you have left the tour. Which if anyone's ever listened to it, you can, if you want to go through, it gets annoying. You're like, yes, I know, I am. But it is really good because if you didn't want to leave the route and then it says you have left the tour, then it means that you'll check and you know that that you've gone off track. But again, it will then try and find you the best way to pick back up on the route, and it'll automatically reroute for you.
Okay, great. And then we've got a question about, is there an option where you can avoid steps?
There isn't, unfortunately. So the only thing would be again to have a look. So it, like I say, it does where it says cycling is not permitted. If you click on that bit, if there was steps in that, it would show you where they are and you can zoom in and have a look. But there's no steps on this route. But it'll tell you if there's steps. It'll show you there. And then you can click on and you can have a look at the steps, and then you can just try and avoid them yourself, or you can just you can drag and drop the route and decide you want to go a slightly different way, or you can have a look on Google Maps, the option to see how steep the steps are, to see if you actually want to go that way or not.
Okay, brilliant, great. I think we've been through all the questions in the chat. Hopefully I haven't missed anything. Is there anything else that anyone would like to put up their hand and ask Grace? We've got a couple of minutes left of the call. Yes, sister, sorry, I can't remember your name. Yeah, ours iPad. You're on mute. Are
Can
you
you
able to
pick,
Oh,
hi, can you pick canal routes? Will it show you canal routes?
You can't specifically ask for canal routes, but if you choose cycling as the option,
Mm.
then this one, which is cycling, so it's like sort of bike touring, it will automatically try to find you those routes. And then the other thing that you can do is if you see these highlights quite often, so with highlights you either have a single point, which could be like a castle or a cafe, but you can also have segments. So if you see that's like a long red line,
Mm.
so that's showing you a river path.
Oh,
So if you include en route, that includes the whole of the route.
okay.
So quite often people put in canal paths as like a highlight, so you can add that on. So then you can have a look and see what the canal path looks like.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, so there's not a specific way to just choose them, but you can sort of have a look and look for the routes, the highlights with it in.
Okay, thank you.
But yeah, if you choose the cycling option as opposed to road cycling,
Okay,
that
yeah,
will take, because cycling is more like just generic bike touring, like
yeah.
on your bike, as opposed to just going on roads. So choose that option and
Mm-hmm.
it'll find you those routes.
Okay, thank you.
great, thanks. Okay, any last question?
you can also choose e-bikes. So if anyone's got an e-bike, you can also select that one as well.
How does that give you a different sort of route with an e-bike?
It just changes the time. So I don't think I fully showed you that one. So that one's saying with an e-bike, that will take you 3 hours 30. And if you take e-bike off, that's going to take you nearly 4 hours. So again, if you change the speed, so if you're saying you're quite fast at cycling, that'll take you 3 hours and 11 minutes. But if you want to go steady, that's going to take you slightly longer. And it just gives you a bit of an idea. If you're cycling with friends, usually it's a bit slower, unless you've got fast friends. But once you've used it a few times, you'll sort of get an idea of whereabouts you are on the scale as well.
Okay, brilliant. All right, fantastic. Well, thank you so much, Grace. I really appreciate you coming and spending time with us this evening and
No problem.
talking us through Komoot.
I feel
Hopefully
like
everyone's feeling a bit more confident. Huh?
I feel like it's a lot of information, so sorry if I've just bombarded you with it all.
Well,
But yeah, watch
we'll
the
share the
recording and
recording. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so we've got it recorded, so you can watch it back, you can pause it, and while you have Komoot open, you can try it out yourself. It is a really great app to use. I've been using it for years for my route planning, and I find it really good. And even though there's a lot of features you can use, you don't have to use it all. You can really start with just the very basics, and as you use it more and more, you can add in all the different features and things. So have a go with it. If you're not signed up for the Switch Your Journey challenge already, then I've shared the link in the chat, but I'll be sending out an email with the recording tomorrow. Get yourself onto the challenge, be part of our WhatsApp group, and we can give you lots of support with the route planning and any other help that you need to start doing more journeys by cycling, because that's what we want to see. Basically, we want to see more sisters taking their bikes out to do these kind of everyday journeys and feel the benefits from that for them and their families. So thanks so much, everybody, for joining us, and look forward to seeing all the different sorts of cycling you're going to be doing over the next few weeks, inshallah. All right, take care, everybody.
Thank
Assalamu
you.
alaikum.
Bye.